Hold up, wait a minute. An early drop? Hey, what up to the theorists? Man, look, we're so thankful for the CT community. We're doubling up on videos from now until Christmas. And for today, we're sliding to Philly to rank the catalog of one of the 2010's most popular artists, Meek Mill. The bowl is the same one from Burke Street with the nappy braids that locked, who made it out of the DVD era of hip-hop to become a multi-platinum artist who brought his city back to hip-hop prominence, all while being on probation or parole for a minor offense he caught as a teen. For today's episode, we'll be recounting Meek's incredible come-up while ranking his official album discography. We'll leave the mixtapes and EPs for another day, but if you want to see that list, just let us know down in the comments. Make sure to support the channel by hitting up our Patreon for bonus content, and that'll also get you access to the Discord where we talk hip-hop 24/7. Now let's get it popping like Willie's on dirt bikes. Number 5, Expensive Pain. It's been over 4 years since Meek has released a full LP. No, we're not counting the EP he dropped the other day. Since getting off probation in 2019 for a charge he caught as a teenager, Meek has become a vocal advocate for criminal justice reform and continued to release sporadic features and projects, most notably the 2023 collab album with Rick Ross, Too Good to Be True. Meek's latest project and first in the 2020s, Expensive Pain, is a solid project that shows he hasn't lost his step, his energetic flow still captivates, and lyrically he's still sharp. From the outset, Meek proves Jeezy only rivals him in setting an album off with his intro that flips Nas's classic Hate Me Now. From there, the pedal is to the metal with Outside. We love to hear Meek go back and forth with newer artists that obviously were influenced by his style on sharing locations with Lil Baby and Lil Durk. That sentiment is mutual for Meek and A$AP Ferg's remix of Lil Jon's Bia Bia on Me, him bringing the best out of Moneybagg on Hot, Lil Uzi on Blue Notes 2, and Young Thug on We Slide. While there's plenty of fire raps and banging beats to satisfy those ready to get litty, it wouldn't be a Meek album without some sentimental music over soul samples. The best of those are Angels, a mournful song that shows Meek didn't forget about Lil Snoop, the third installment of his Cold Hearted series, the title track, and Halo, which closes the album with otherworldly vocals from Brent Faiyaz. As Meek explained to Angie Martinez in an interview, he has been trying to branch into singing in an attempt to keep up with the times. There have been records where Meek sings, well, see 1942 flows. Unfortunately, when he relies on auto-tune to hit high notes like on Love Train, On My Soul, and Love Money, it sounds somewhat grating to the ears, even if the songs overall are decent. Meek has the talented Gordon Banks on his Dream Chasers record label, and he would have been better served putting him on these choruses, as his crooning brings this record down in rank. Expensive Pain would be well received from fans who propelled it to Meek's 5th consecutive album to debut in the top 10 on Billboard, peaking at number 2, though it is the first in his catalog to not have earned a gold or platinum plaque. Number 4, Dreams Worth More Than Money. When Meek Mill released his second album, his professional and personal life had been a roller coaster of summits and setbacks. He came into the game strong with the top 10 debut album in October 2012. But soon after, in 2013, his beef with fellow Philly rapper Cassidy culminated in Meek's defeat in their war of words when Cass hit him with the diss track Raid, and Meek followed with the mediocre Kendrick You Next, foreshadowing his later clash with Drake. He dropped the third installment of his classic Dream Chasers mixtape series to much fanfare in May of 2013 and announced his sophomore album was halfway done. But probation violations in 2012 and 2013 hindered his ability to perform and record, eventually leading to a 5-month jail stint from July to December 2014. Meek also signed promising Louisiana rapper Lil Snoop to DC, but Snoop was tragically gunned down in 2013, leaving DC with only O'Malley's lackluster lyrics as the undercard. Another mix of highs and lows followed. In 2015, Meek began dating the hottest female rapper alive, Nicki Minaj, yet was hit with another parole violation later that year, ending with house arrest from February to June 2016 and 6 more years of probation. Like Tupac locked up in 95 with the #1 album in the country, Meek Mill's ankle monitor and probation guidelines loomed over him when Dreams Worth More Than Money debuted at #1 in 2015. The album marked Meek's ascent while the criminal justice system tugged at him. Shout out to that judge that denied my bail. It made me smarter and made me go harder, he raps on the fiery opener Lord Knows, before adding, they locked me up and slowed my album up. But I didn't give up because I knew I would prevail. From there, Meek delivers bangers like Classic with Swizz Beatz, Jump Out the Face with Future, and Rico featuring Drake. The latter led to one of the more infamous beefs in hip-hop history. More on that in a moment. Meek shines most on solo tracks like I Got the Juice, Ambition, and Check, where his nimble flow and lyrical urgency glide over trap production. His finest moment comes on The Trillist, reflecting on sacrifice and survival with lines like, I got blood on my money, ether in my soul. Dreams Worth More Than Money earned Meek his first platinum album and produced multiple gold and multi-platinum singles. While glossy R&B leaning tracks like All Eyes on You and Pulling Up don't age as well, the album remains a triumphant sophomore effort even if it doesn't surpass his debut. Number 3, Championships. On Meet the Parents, Jay-Z once said something to the extent that they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again. That quote perfectly encapsulates the public's schizophrenic feelings toward celebrities, especially Meek Mill at the time of his 4th album. The ramifications of his feud with Drake were massive. Meek's reputation as a top-tier lyricist took a severe hit, made worse by his emotional outburst on social media, where he tends to tweet like he's touched. By losing his cool in front of millions, Meek lost his cool to millions. Meek's form of damage control has always been to fall back on making hot music, and releases like DC4 helped him maintain his spot. Still, the cracks exposed by the Drake battle and the jokes that followed left a tiny but permanent stain on his name. This lingered into the 2010s, especially after whispers about Meek and Diddy resurfaced following Cassie's explosive lawsuit. While the allegations were new, being the butt of the jokes was not. No Diddy. After the unfair, lukewarm reception to his 3rd album, Wins and Losses, Meek bunkered down in the studio to craft an undeniable record to win back the masses. For 2018's Championships, he pulled out all the stops, getting the biggest names in the game and using the cheat code of sampling rap and R&B songs like Mobb Deep's Get Away, Big's What's Beef, Hov's Dead Presidents, Jodeci's Come and Talk to Me, and Beyonce's Me, Myself, and I. Tempo-wise, this is Meek's fastest album, with almost every song sounding over 150 BPM. But the slaps keep coming. Uptown Vibes, On Me, Splash Warning, Tic-Tac-Toe, Pay You Back, and of course the Drake reunion Going Bad. Some lines show Meek was living a bit too jiggy, like On Me, I just let a famous bitch spit in my mouth. TMI, bro. Toward the end, the danceable songs feel like overkill, but when Meek slows down, he delivers some of his best love records with 24/7 and Dangerous. Throughout Championships, he raps like his life's on the line, and given his 2017 sentencing and 5-month jail stint, that wasn't hyperbole. His legal battles won him public sympathy and support from Michael Rubin and Jay-Z, and tracks like Trauma, Respect the Game, Championships, and What's Free were among his most powerful. Championships was a critical darling, his 3rd album to debut number 1 and his 4th platinum plaque. It proved Meek was still a heavyweight, even if the album leaned on high-tempo fan service to win back love.
Remember those albums that changed everything? The ones you played on repeat? The soundtracks of your story. Now, they're not just memories, they're wearable. 8 classic albums pressed into every hoodie and tee. For the ones who grew up on that real hip-hop, and the ones who are still catching up, this is more than merch, it's a tribute. Wear what raised you. Available now at shop.culturalisttheory.com.
Number 2, Dreams and Nightmares. In many ways, the mainstream success of Meek Mill in the early 2010s is hard to fathom because it was so anachronistic. At a time when hip-hop was in the clutches of the South, Drake was blending R&B and rap, and trap Cynthia Sheen dominated the soundscape, Meek burst onto the scene in Timberland boots, popping wheelies on dirt bikes, sagging skinny jeans and white tees while rapping grimy gangsta rap cuts from the cloth of state property. DMX once cut through the shiny suit era like a chainsaw, and Meek Mill tore through the gilded age of the early 2010s hip-hop the same way. Since the mid-2000s, Southern hip-hop had dominated the charts, leaving few non-Southern heavy contenders aside from Eminem, Ye, Nas, and Jay. The 2007 battle between 50 and Kanye shifted the culture overnight. Gangsta rap, especially from the East, went from standard to passé. The subgenre was fading commercially until Meek Mill's Dreams and Nightmares dropped in 2012. His debut peaked at number 2 on Billboard, blocked by Taylor Swift's Red, and sold over 500,000 copies, producing 1 multi-platinum and 2 gold singles. To find a comparable East Coast gangsta rap debut, you'd have to go back to 2004 with Lloyd Banks' The Hunger for More. Regionally, Meek was also the first street rapper from Philly to earn a top 10 plaque-earning album since Cassidy's Split Personality in 2004. And no, we're not counting Will Smith. This is gangsta rap, and Will doesn't like to curse in his records. Musically, this album is arguably a classic. The title track is one of the most quotable rap songs ever, on par with Biggie's Juicy, because no matter where you hear it, the whole room screams, "Hold up, wait a minute." Meek's high-pitched inflections and pockets he found in trap beats became highly influential on rappers like Big Sean, Rick Ross, and even Drake. Many songs were inescapable in 2012. Young and Getting It, Believe It, Burn, and the Drake-assisted Amen. But Meek also delivered visceral street records like In God We Trust and Traumatized, and told a gripping tale on Tony's Story Part 2, a rarity in that era. Like the cover art, Rolex Bound to Handcuffs, the album moves between joyfully optimistic and harsh realism. Through it all, Meek's grit and urgency breathed new life into a style many had written off. Dreams and Nightmares stands as proof that the game may evolve, but fundamentals remain. Heart, hunger, and being the voice of the youth. Number 1, wins and losses. Win, lose, or draw, the claim can still be made that many rappers drop their most profound work after a high-profile battle on wax. After KRS-One declared The Bridge Is Over in '87, he returned with the 5 mic classic By All Means Necessary. After Ice Cube destroyed NWA on No Vaseline in '91, he followed with back-to-back classics The Predator and Lethal Injection. Even in the Jay-Z and Nas feud, where people now debate Takeover versus Ether, both artists rebounded with highly lauded LPs like Godson and the Black Album. While hip-hop has plenty of post-beef albums, there are fewer breakup albums. Nas's Life Is Good addressed his divorce from Khalees, Puffy hints at J-Lo on The Saga Continues, and Jay might be remorseful on 444. But these examples are rare. If you know more, throw them in the comments. This matters because in the summer of 2015, Meek Mill spiraled on Twitter after Drake didn't promote Dreams Worth More Than Money. Meek then revealed Drake had a ghostwriter, Quentin Miller, for Rico, and other If You're Reading This tracks, sparking instant controversy. Meek was initially the favorite, perceived as the grizzled Philly battler versus the soft-singing Canadian. But Drake had battle roots too. Charged Up shows he wasn't playing, and Back to Back was the kill shot. Even Meek revealing Drake got urinated on couldn't beat trigger fingers turned into Twitter finger. After the battle, Meek wrestled with legal issues and his damaged image. DC4 reminded people he was still dangerous, but he caught another L when he and Nicki Minaj broke up in early 2017. With romantic, professional, and legal drama swirling around him, it's astounding he doubled down to make wins and losses, his 3rd consecutive platinum album debuting at number 3 on Billboard. Critics were lukewarm at first, but in retrospect, this album surpasses his first 2 and arguably the ones after. The reason? Meek confronts issues we watched unfold in real time. Lines from Heavy Heart, 1942 Flows, and These Scars reveal a man grappling with shortcomings and perspective on the Drake battle. But he also widens the lens addressing systemic injustice on young black America, while Price, Left Hollywood, and Save Me deepen the introspection. Never Lose and Made It From Nothing are equally moving, but Young Thug steals the show on the mournful We Ball, arguably the best feature of 2017. If there's a flaw, it's the sporadic sequencing. Heavy songs wedged in between turn-up joints like Glow Up or R&B records like Fall Through. Still, the album remains engaging, inspiring, and Meek's best. Now we know we said we weren't including mixtapes or EPs on the list, but we still want to hear from you. If you're wondering where the rankings are for other Philadelphia legends like Beanie Sigel or Freeway, well, they're not here yet, but we do have their albums ranked in lists that we did on Rockefeller Records. You can check that out here. Also, if you're a fan from that era, make sure you check out our Raised Me tees and hoodies available right now on shop.culturalisttheory.com. G-Unit, Rockefeller, Cash Money, you name it, it's there. Super thanks again to the listeners out there. We are beyond grateful for hitting 20K. Here's to the next 20K coming in half the time. It's your man CJ for CT. I'm out.